What's up guys, it's your boy Creamyiee here again with another ARK video. Today, I'm going to show you how to survive your first day of ARK. The first thing you're going to want to do when you enter is hold E on the ground. Just by pressing it, you pick up a bunch of resources like fiber, berries, seeds, etc. To access our inventory, we're then just going to click I on the keyboard. This will let us see everything that we've collected. Now we're getting into Minecraft style gameplay, as we're just gonna right click to start punching trees. This will let us collect thatch and wood at the beginning just to get some initial resources before we can build some tools to collect them more efficiently. Now we're just gonna go back to hitting E on the ground to collect all the rocks that we see on the beach. This will be an easy way to get rocks before we can actually build a pickaxe or axe. Now that we have the essentials collected, we're going to go into our crafting inventory, but once again hitting I on the keyboard, and we're simply going to hit E to craft a pickaxe. As you can see here, if you left click, there's options from craft one, craft all, or craft a certain amount. And now that we've got our pickaxe crafted, we can just start hitting rocks to get some flint. We're going to need the flint to start making torches, to start making other tools, so this is essential to get. Additionally, we can collect a large amount of thatch with the pickaxe when hitting a tree. So now we're going to go in and craft the rest of the tools that we need to get more resources. So we're going to start with the torch, as we need this to see at night, and it'll keep us warmer. As you can see by the little ice thing at the bottom, we are pretty cold right now. Now that I've gathered more resources, we're going to craft an axe, as this is a great way to get hide from animals, as well as stone from rocks and wood from trees. I'm simply just equipping them to my hotbar so I can hit the numbers on my keyboard to quick equip them in the game. Now that they're equipped, we're going to start hunting for meat because we need that to survive. So I'm just going to start by killing some dodos on the beach because they're not aggressive. They just run away, they're pretty weak, but at the beginning you can kill them pretty easily with a spear. So now that I've killed the dodo, I'm going to use the pickaxe if I want to collect more meat, and I'll use the axe if I want to collect hide. Now that I've got the meat, we're going to need to build a campfire to actually cook the meat. If you eat it raw, you're going to get sick and lose health, so you need to get that campfire going. One of the aggressive creatures that you're going to encounter on the beach if you spawn in on the island is a dilly. They're not hard to kill if you have a spear or something, but they are a bit of a pain in the ass. They're pretty tedious more than anything, but once you kill them you can collect their meat and hide, so it's a bit of a win-lose situation with them. When harvesting rocks, you want to use a pickaxe to get flint and the axe to get stone. Weapons are more efficient than each other for collecting certain things throughout the game. The same goes for trees. A pickaxe is better for thatch, and an axe is better for wood. So make sure you have the right tool for the specific resource that you need. Now that we've got those resources, we're going to start building the essentials of a base. You really don't need that much, to be honest. Just a campfire, a storage box, and a sleeping bag. And here I'm also building a water skin because I'm going to need that to drink water if I'm not near a water source. So to place down these items, you're just going to hover over them in your inventory and hit E. You can also left click and hit place. You're just going to double click your left button on your mouse, and that'll let you place it. So with a campfire, you just put some wood and meat in the inventory and hit light fire, and it'll start cooking the meat for you. The same thing with the storage box, you're just going to hit place in the inventory, double left click, and that's how you'll place your storage box. Now you can quick transfer by hitting transfer all at the top there, hit accept, and everything will be in the inventory. The same goes the other way, just hit transfer all and you'll get everything back to you. If you die and need to get into your bag, that's a pretty easy way to get all of your items real quick so that you don't die again trying to get your bag. Now to fill up the water skin, you just go to the edge of the water and hit the number that's associated with your hotkey, and that'll fill it up. So now I'm just going back to killing dodos, collecting meat because I want to start taming. The math chop is a good tame, but also when you need hide to make a sleeping bag, you get a ton of hide from them, so I'd suggest first killing one so that you can make the essentials you need before trying to tame one of these. And as you can see with the axe, you get a bunch of hide compared to the other animals. Just like the water skin, you're going to want to put the cooked meat in your hotbar, as this makes it easier to eat when you're running around. You can just hit the number and eat it quickly. You can also split stacks in your inventory if you don't want to put everything in, so I just split my wood in half to put half of it in my campfire. It's also way more efficient to repair tools rather than make entirely new tools. So if you hover over the tool, you can see the items that you need to repair it back to full health. So I'm just going to put that stuff in my inventory, hover over it, and hit repair. It takes a couple seconds, but it's way better than keep recrafting tools. I'm going to do that same thing with my axe, just put what I need in my inventory. I'll hover over it, and then click repair. So now I'm going to make a sleeping bag. Having one of these allows you to have a respawn point when you die, so I can respawn right at my base instead of having to come back to my base. I'm also going to start making a set of clothes, as this will help with the elements like being cold, getting too hot, etc., depending on where you're at. The next thing that we're going to want to make is a bola, as this will be super helpful with taming a lot of the initial dinosaurs that we're looking for. So I'm simply going to craft all and then drag them into my hotbar. To equip the clothes, you just hover over the clothing items and click E. This quick equips them so you don't have to drag every single piece of clothing onto you. And on the sleeping bag, I'm going to place somewhere right near my camp. And once again, I'm just going to click E in my inventory and then place it down. So now I'm going to start making a club. We're going to need a club to knock out a lot of animals. This is the best way to do it without killing them and just having them unconscious so you can tame them. I'm also going to get a slingshot because pterodons can take a bit of hits to come down if they're higher level, so a slingshot will typically do it quicker. So I'm just going to put those in my inventory in a hotbar spot so I can quickly grab them when I need them. And now I'm just going to transfer some taming items into my inventory. So Mijo berries I'm going to put in my last spot, because if I'm going to passive tame, you need the berries to be in your last spot. And then hit E on the animal when you come up to them. So the narco berries, I'm going to take all of them, because if I do have a knockout tame rather than a passive tame, I'm going to need to be pumping them with narco berries to keep them unconscious. The first thing I'm going to tame is a dodo. You don't need to tame a dodo, I'm just doing this to show you how to do a knockout tame before I do a passive. So you just beat the animal, which seems a little weird to make it your animal, and then you feed it when it's unconscious. And by feeding it, you just place the berries right into its inventory and allow it to eat them. Dodos tame pretty quick, as their food drops very fast, so usually 2 berries should do it depending on the level. And now I have my dodo. The next thing I'm going to tame is this math chops. All you do is hold E when you're near it, and it'll feed it. Math chops just take one item. Every math chop will have a different item that they want. You do the same thing and place it in the last spot of your inventory. I just got lucky that it was a Mijo berry, not a rare flower or something like that. And you can actually ride these to collect resources, so these are a great one to get right at the beginning to make your resource collection so much easier. Because you see, after 2 hits, it collected way more berries, fiber, than I collect with my hands sitting there and going and doing it over and over. Another passive tame we're going to do is a Listhosaurus. I call this an XP boy. This gives you all your dinosaurs an XP boost when you pet it, so it's a great option to have at the beginning because you can keep building up the XP. For this one, you just have to follow it around, unfortunately, which is kind of annoying. It does take a little bit, but eventually, once it's fully fed, you will have your dinosaur. So now I'm just going to go and kill some fish, get some extra resources because I want to tame a pterodon. These are a good thing to get from the get-go, get them leveled up, get the stamina better. Additionally, there's those annoying birds that come and rob you in the game, so a pterodon will be the only dinosaur early game that'll be able to protect you from all of your stuff getting stolen. So to get the fish, I'm simply just beating them with an axe when they come near shore so that the piranhas can't get me. And now I'm going to prep my inventory to tame the pterodon. So what I'm going to want to do is keep the narco berries and the fish, as well as some stones so I can use a slingshot. For a pterodon, you're going to need a lot of narco berries if you don't have narcotics yet, as their torpidity does drop very quickly. To command your dinosaurs, all you do is hold T on the keyboard, and this will give you this option wheel to stop them, to make them follow you, etc. You can also change what mode they're in, so you can make them passive, you can make them neutral, you can make them attack your target, so if you hit something, they'll also hit it. Now that I found the pterodon, I'm going to throw a bullet at it to trap it so it can't fly away, and then I'm going to use my slingshot and shoot it in the head to knock it out. It will take a couple hits to drop them, but they should drop with the slingshot before being released from the bola. You don't want to overhit them because you could kill them. As you can see, the health is already pretty low just with the few hits I got with the slingshot. But all I'm going to do again is drag the meat in the inventory and track it with the little footprint at the top. So now comes the waiting game with the pterodon. They take forever to tame at the beginning because I don't have prime meat, I don't have narcotics, so I'm just going to wander around and wait for a little bit while it gets tamed. While you're waiting, you should keep checking how unconscious it is. Their unconscious level does drop very quickly, unfortunately, so they can be a pain to tame at first. If they become unconscious, you're not going to be able to tame them, they're just going to fly away. As you can see in the distance, there's that baryonyx over there, so I'm keeping an eye on that. And now that it's got close enough, I've made the decision that I'd rather lose my inventory than lose the pterodon I'm taming, so I'm just going to drag it as far as I can away from the pterodon. I don't know why I tried to use a bola here. A bola does not work on these. That was dumb on my part. But yeah, I just want to drag it far into the forest so it doesn't kill the pterodon that I'm taming, because other dinosaurs that are aggressive will attack your tame while it's unconscious and eat its corpse. Yeah, so this messed me up pretty quickly, so I died, unfortunately, but luckily I had the sleeping bag down, so I can just go respawn right at the sleeping bag at my base. The handy part about the tracking that I did before is that you can find your dinosaur no matter where they're at, and you can see the level that it's been tamed. So to make the dinosaur more unconscious, I'm just going to use E over the narco berries and make it consume that. Whatever you do, make sure you do not feed it the meat. Feeding it the meat does not make it tame quicker, it just brings its hunger back up and does not change the taming at all, so it'll take forever if you try to force feed it meat. The only way you can tame it is when it eats the meat on its own, rather than you feeding it the meat. And finally, we have the pterodon tamed after ages of waiting for it. This is a great one to get at the beginning though, because having a strong flyer will benefit you greatly throughout the game. So now that I have the pterodon back at the base, I'm simply going to command it to land, and I'm going to attempt to go retrieve my bag. You'll be able to find your bag as it puts a green light in the sky, like you can see ahead of me, and that'll indicate where you died and where your inventory is. I'm simply going to quick transfer everything into my bag, and now I'm good. Overall, these are the essentials you need to get in day 1 of ARK: some basic weapons, basic dinos, basic tools, and you should be set to start.